Hello, welcome back to More Fun Fixing It. I'm here today to do some triaging. There's a whole heap of computers behind me from Paul Universal Retro Boss that he's kindly let me repair. Genuinely a nice thing for him to do because it just makes it really easy for me to get my fixing fix. Today I want to look at some ZX Spectrums, specifically some 48K, or there might be some 16Ks in there, rubber keys. Let's get those on the bench. So I have 6 here. Now, not all of these are going to need repairing. Some of them are just composite mods, so they work okay, but they need a composite mod. This one I know definitely does. We'll get to that one in a sec. I just want to talk about what I've got ready to go here. So I've set myself up with some composite converter, something to convert the RF output into a composite signal on the fly. This was made for me by my friend Henry, and it's a lead that connects to the RCA jack in the back of the Spectrum, and that gets the ground signal into this cable, and then this clip lead clips onto the side of the RF can where the video signal goes into that RF can. It's somewhere in here is a 100 microfarad capacitor that Henry has put in line, which turns it into an instant composite mod. It just makes testing things a lot easier. But I will forget. I'm going to plug this one in occasionally, which is a normal RCA one, and that's not going to do anything. So anyway, we've got this one which says yellow comp. We'll get to that. This one, keyboard is good, no bad picture quality. No or bad picture quality, I think that means. So this is going to be, I think, oh no, it's an issue 3 or 4. So why has that got bad picture quality? Could just be a dirty jack. So we'll get to that one as well. This one, black and white stripes. I like a black and white stripes. And that is also an issue 3 or a 4. This one, dead. I like a dead as well. This one's an issue 2, which is sad. And I think it's an upgraded issue 2. So it used to be probably, oh no, it says 48K. Well, you never know. They could have put the sticker on it at the factory when they upgraded it. Someone's postcode scratched into the back as well. Issue 2s aren't bad, but they're just, I've had a really bad run of issue 2s with weak ULAs in them, the -2 ULAs, and there's just not much you can do about it, fixing those. Red and yellow stripes, I like that one, and oh, someone's address on the back there, and a reset switch on the hanging out of the back that is obviously used to be in a plus. So we've got someone's address on the back, and this is a 48K. What issue have we got in here? It looks like another issue 2. Boo! So that's probably, well, it's our 50-50, that's going to be okay. Needs comp mod, work, but gets hot. So this one is quite interesting. I showed this when, it might have been a Patreon exclusive video. There, I showed all of these computers coming in, and I briefly looked at this one, and this one's got kind of a wood-grained faceplate. It's all perished, and the paint on it is kind of rippled. Looks really interesting. I really like that. So that one is interesting. But before we get to any of these broken ones, let's have a look at this one, because this one is one of the special ones. All right, it's got a nice new keyboard membrane in it, ready to go. It's a nice case as well. And it's one of the rare-ish, they're not super rare, but rare-ish yellow boards. Yellow and blue silkscreen yellow PCB. Don't see them very often, and they do fetch a premium when they go up for sale. I did sell one in one of the charity auctions. But yeah, that's it's a nice one. It's nice and clean. Never been worked on. But it's fully working. It's got all the original caps in it and everything. But it needs a composite mod. But we're just going to test it with some Diagnostics and Henry's composite mod, just to make sure it works. And then I'll put this aside again for I'll composite mod either on a live stream or I'll do it myself in some other fashion. So let's just switch this one on. Yeah, it works fine. So that's that interference. I'm just fiddling around with the RCA jack. It's not making the best connection over here. That just needs cleaning up. It's a really poor connection, actually. Oh, we need to check the diagnostics as well. Getting such a bad picture now. Oh, there we go. Yep. Full pass. I have actually given Paul his own, not a Steam Card Pro, but the Bike Delight version of this, and so he's got something that will show him voltages instantly. It might save a few spectrums while he's testing. But actually, news on the Steam Card Pro, Dave Steamy Briggs, who is the creator of this marvelous card, has actually announced that he's making the version 2 of this. I think this is version 1.2. Yeah, this is version 1.2. The next version is going to be 2, and there's a few upgrades on it. There's some changes to the LEDs that indicate the power supply in the spectrum that mean that they're more accurately represented. So they'll show actually more subtlety if there's a lower voltage on some of them. I think the only one that's actually controlled properly on here with this Xena diode is the 12-volt line. The others will actually light up even if they're a bit low. The other thing that he's doing is currently this whole board is powered from the 5 volts off of this, from the edge connector on here. So you get the power coming in, and it's converted to different voltages for the different voltage rails, and the 5 volt is then fed around for the ICs on the board that actually run the computer, but it's also going to the edge connector and running all of this. So that's putting a little bit of extra load on the board that it probably shouldn't be there. It's not ideal. I mean, it's meant to run peripherals, but maybe nothing as, you know, they didn't envisage anything as complicated as this. But what he's doing is taking the 9 volts, which is straight off of this barrel jack. So it's going to be, there'll be plenty of voltage left over, plenty of current left over. It's kind of taking the 9 volts off of the edge connector, and he's going to have DC conversion on here to change that into the 5 volts to run everything on here. Those are the 2 major changes. I think there's a few other bits and pieces, but that's coming in the new year, and hopefully I'll be able to get myself one of those and show it off on here. So right, this one I can just put to one side for now, and I can composite mod that in my own time. I will just leave myself a note though, so that I don't have to repeat anything. Here's one. This is the second one that's also looks like it only needs a composite mod, but we will open it up and have a look. Assembled in Portugal. One for you, Lewis. Lewis is one of my patrons, and I think he lives very, very close by from where they used to build these in Portugal. Oh, these are different screws in here. They've got a wider head on them, and they feel like they're slightly longer. And that hardly any of those were fully screwed in. All right, we've got a reasonable keyboard membrane. That should be okay. And we've got an issue 4A, original caps. Only the ULA is socketed, and it's a -7 ULA in there. A quick look on the other side. A little bit of rework down here. There's a capacitor that's been reworked in here. Maybe it's a factory mod that they changed, or it was not quite, you know, didn't get through quality control in the factory, and they had to redo it. But yeah, let's plug it in and see what happens. There's no reason not to. I know this one's working, so on the faulty ones, we're going to be a little bit more careful. I will be watching. Oh, I will be watching down here for voltages. Yeah, they're good. Interestingly, all of the white paint has come off on the spectrum thing. Oh, the diagnostics didn't run for some reason. It just stopped. Could be slightly dodgy connection somewhere, maybe on the edge connector for the diagnostics, or it could be a capacitor reform like the reset cap may have reformed and then activated itself somehow. I don't know. But it seems to be okay now. Yeah, that's passed. Yep, so that one is ready for a recap as well. I think I'm going to come to this one last, the hot one. Red and yellow stripes is appealing. Let's do that one. It's got someone's address on the back, so I'm just going to try and hide it. I don't mind if it's a business address. For somebody asked about, I showed the business address for one of the repairers that used to repair these things, and it seems to still be a company. I'm not sure if they're still trading, but they're listed on places like LinkedIn and stuff. And if it's a company address, then I don't see any reason not to show their address. Oh, we've lost the membrane in this one, and it is an issue 2. And I've been in here before. Why is what? It's got a DC-DC mod has been done, and it's got a bad ULA in it. And it looks like my, well, I mean, that could be somebody else's mark, but I'm just going to plug this one in and see what happens. But red and yellow stripes is going to be a bad ULA. Good voltages. Yeah, that's a bad ULA. That's got to be. Let's pop that out. I've got a board handy here with a -2 ULA, and this is a weak ULA, but it will at least show us if this machine is otherwise running. Yeah. There's still some horribleness going on there. It looks like contention. Oh, I don't know. It might just need these variable caps adjusting to make things better. Yeah, that's fully working. Well, sadly, that's pretty much a write-off. I might have done this one already on the channel, showed this actual machine in the past. It might have been in a plus case, and I might have accidentally sent it back to Paul as a working machine without labeling it as a write-off, which is what it is. Oops. Sadly, that's the case with this one, because once the ULA's gone, there's not really much coming back for what Paul's doing, which is trying to make a profit on these things. The profit is now going to be, on this one, the case and any spare parts like the processor. And I mean, sadly, there's not very many. I keep saying sadly, but it's sad. There's not very many spare parts in here. Things like the coils can be handy, but I've got plenty of those. It's got some nice keyboard connectors. I wouldn't even salvage like the 7805 or the power connector. The ear and mic ports are not really worth saving. Logic chips maybe, and the upper RAM, if it hasn't got too short legs, then that might be worth saving, and the lower RAM maybe. Doesn't look like they've been chopped off too short actually, so yeah, scrap board. If it was like the yellow motherboard, we'd save it for sure, but it's an issue 2. These are all over the place. So nice case, not a bad faceplate, good key mat, so there's still value in this. Dead. Another issue 2. This one's an upgrade. Oh, not necessarily. Well, maybe. I'd have expected That's really an odd one, because if these chip... Oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? This has got some radial caps in here. What's going on there? Someone's put some radial caps in. I think this has been worked on. It's got a DC mod that's a bit messy. That cap is sticking up quite high and was probably impinging on the bottom of the case. There's a ceramic disc cap under there I've never seen before, next to the coil. Voltage regulator is really skew width, and is that an original? I don't think it is. It's got the first version of the ULA in here, not the -2, it's the one before. The LM1889N is in a socket. That is highly unusual. If that is factory with these radials, I'll be amazed. So let's pop it out of this case and have a look on the other side. Oh, do you know what? I think that's factory. Oh, it's a nasty scratch across the board there. This is a weird one. For an issue 2. So these are the solder points down here, and they look exactly the same as all of the points around them. I can't see any difference. The socketed LM1889N, I mean, it could have been done back in the day, but done really competently, and then the oxidization has happened on the back of the solder to make it look like it. You know, it's contemporary. Well, there's a couple more of those big, chunky disc capacitors in there, ceramic disc capacitors in there, and another one on there. Okay, better do my initial checks on this one. Okay, so both sides of the 7805 voltage regulator, no shorts there, and then all of the power rails on the lower RAM. That's all good. The coil, you always get some resistance that way, but then turn your leads around and then it will hopefully disappear. Ooh, maybe not. There might be a problem. TR4 is here and TR5 is here, so we'll go into diode mode now. Black lead in the middle first. I think that's okay. It's been a while since I've done a spectrum. I forget. Yeah, that looks okay. All right, switch it on. I wonder what that red sticker means. Whether that's a factory thing or a repair shop. Oi, no voltage. Yeah, there's only 9 volts. There's no voltage on the board at all. So it's probably the 7805 that's gone. Because there's nothing coming through to the board, I am going to risk. The only thing you're really chancing here is the lower RAM. If, for instance, the 12 volts was getting through, but the 5 and the -5 wasn't, then you would just burn out all of your lower RAM. But because there's no voltage getting through at all, yeah, then I think it's safe to do this. But I am going to do it kind of quick and put the probes in place first and turn the multimeter on. So we've got, that's the input side of the voltage regulator, and the output side, 0.6 volts. Voltage regulator's burnt. Okay, there we go. That's a repair for later. Just failed open. Probably hasn't taken anything else with it. Fingers crossed. That's a satisfying triage, and that's why that was completely dead. So no voltage, 7805 dead. That one's done. Okay, right, 2 more to go. Oh, that's the last one, remember? Black and white stripes. I like the sound of this one. Very, very dirty. Like it's been stored in a shed or in a garage for a few decades. possibly get away with the keyboard membrane being okay, although looking right in here, it's cracked across there, but that might just be the plastic on the outside. Maybe the chart. Oh, it looks quite cracked. No, I'm saying that's probably 10% chance that that'll be okay. We have a -6 ULA, which is not a good thing. It's got some kind of squiggle on it, like someone signed it. But maybe it's been to a repair shop in the past. There is a sticker, or there's residue where there was a sticker there, but that might just be where the 48K sticker was. It's an issue 3. These 100 microfarad caps here are odd, so maybe it has had a repair in the past. Yeah, this, I think it's a 4.7, yeah, 4.7 microfarad cap down here is different to the others, and this one here has got 3 different types of cap in it. I think that's a 22 is different to the one next to it, so maybe it has been repaired in the past. We'll soon see on the other side. But it hasn't had any chips changed, which is a bit weird. Well, if it has had chips changed, they've soldered them back in without sockets. And there's no work been done to this. This is like it was from the factory. All of the caps look to be, so for instance, these 2 over here that are odd are identical on the back. There's no difference between those. They're bent in exactly the same way. They've got the same level of corrosion on the solder. And this has not been worked on. I'd have expected to see, say if this had gone wrong and TR4 had blown, and it had blown because like the caps had gone out of spec or something like that. So I'd expect them to have changed at least the caps that had gone faulty. So therefore these ones maybe, and TR4. But TR4 has not been changed. That's factory. Very, very strange. So let's do our checks. Okay, resistance over here on the, well, let's do the input side first. Is fine, and the output side is fine. And then all of the voltage rails over here on the lower RAM. That's good. That is good. Oop, come here. And that is yep, that is good. Feel like I'm missing something here. Nothing socketed apart from the ULA again. So let's do it this way round. Across the coil for meg. That could be. Oh no. No, that's okay. It's just sometimes there's a bit of capacitance left in there. Diode mode. Black lead in the middle of TR4, and on the top point it says no voltage, and the bottom one no voltage, and then red lead in the middle 0.66 and 0.66, and then black lead in the middle of TR5, on the top 0.7 and on the bottom 0.7. Red leader in the middle should be 0 and 1 point something. Yeah. They're okay. Let's plug it in. See what it does. I'm just going to give this a clean. It gets plugged into all sorts of things that are dirty, and just give it a chance of making a better connection. Bit of a wiggle around. Let's put the Henry's fault composite mod. Get rid of that. Ready? We have the voltages. That looks like a bad ULA again. That's really a nice pattern though. I'm just going to point a thermal camera at this one. See if there's anything obvious. The ULA is toasty. Nope, nothing obvious. So yeah, I'm thinking it is the ULA actually. Oh, I didn't check voltages. Oh, well, the voltages are there, but let's check them anyway over here. And That's the input. That's the output. That's a nice output. 0.46 is quite low. Something is dragging that down. 12 and 5. It's all good. But that was the -5, so that's not so bad. Let's find another ULA and put that in there. A box of ULA here. There's a couple of -7s in here. These aren't the easiest things to get out. I find the easiest way is to go down behind this heatsink with a screwdriver and just wiggle it in there. And then leave the screwdriver in there. And then wiggle it out from the other end. Like that. I'm going to stick this -7 in here. Give the socket a little spruce up. It's a single wipe socket. That could be the problem. But it's making good contact. Are you ready? Oh, the DC jack's not good. Oh, okay, it's doing exactly the same thing. So that ULA could be good. I should really have a test machine here to put that ULA into, but I haven't got one handy. See if I can find one. Actually, this one that was scrapped, let's give it a little purpose and use this as a test machine for this ULA. I need to change that power socket when this one gets repaired. So a -6 should work in here without any problems. It's not guaranteed though. Yep, that ULA is fine. Oh, that's made that a little bit more interesting. Let's get that out of the way. So, I also need to get this back out of here. Okay, that's come flying out and bent a couple of legs on the way. I can put this back in here. And my next suspicion is the CPU's gone bad. But I'm not going to do anything else to this one. This one is an interesting repair and we'll make a nice video. So I'll make a note. We know what we're dealing with and look forward to seeing that on the channel later. ULA good, CPU bad power jack. CPU ? Bad power jack. Okay, that one out of the way. Last one, it's crispy time. Don't know why it's got a dot on the back here. It's the sort of dot you see when a repairer marks a chip as good or bad or whatever. They used to put little stickers on them. And we have an issue 3B and a -7 ULA, promising. It has had its composite mod done as well. Look at that. This has been to the factory. Proper composite mod. And this one works but gets hot, so it's probably just needs a 7805. So if it works, I'm just going to plug it in. Oh, I don't want to have to take any of these chips out. They've had their legs basically sanded off. It's had some rework done on the back as well, just in a few places, just to fix a few of these points. But yeah, all of these chips are seriously chopped down, or the legs have gone. All of the logic. Yeah, most of the chips have suffered the same fate, so these wouldn't be recyclable anyway. Let's plug it in. Oh, we've got a speaker. I think I'm missing a speaker on one of the earlier ones. It's a horrible signal. It is just connection though, so we'll just let that. So if he said it gets hot and it's passing all its tests, let's point a thermal camera at it. See what that says. Yeah, voltage regulator is up to 42 degrees. It's not 46 on the ULA. That cap on the DC circuit is quite warm. I've seen that before as well. There's nothing really wrong with this. I think this just needs a composite mod. 50 degrees on the, or 48 point, yes, 50.2 now. The ULA is getting quite toasty. Not too, you know, it's designed to run hot. And it's a 7. This will take it. CPU's normal sort of temperature. 46 degrees on that voltage regulator. So maybe that just needs a bit more thermal grease underneath it or something like that. So it's a better connection with the heatsink. It's nice and tight. But this is one of the reasons that these old computers failed, because you get like a 55 degree ULA, CPU that's running at 40 degrees, and a voltage regulator that's running, getting up to 50 degrees as well, in this tight little case with no air circulation at all, and no room to breathe, running for hours on end, being left on, you know, because it's just like, you know, I used to leave mine on all the time so I could come back and carry on the game that I was playing. And yeah, they bake, and that's why all these electrolytic capacitors end up basically dried out. Yeah, everything else looks good in here. I would be tempted to maybe heatsink this one. It's not too bad. I can actually feel that. My insensitive fingers can feel that that's getting hot now. But that cap is not getting overly hot. That's good. I don't know. If this was mine, I would recap it. I'd desocket the ULA, solder it to the board and heatsink it. I'd change the voltage regulator for a Traco or similar. That would take all that heat away. It would reduce this heat. The CPU is not too bad. Yeah, like I say, I'd recap it so these weren't causing any problems. And then it would last again forever. There's no reason it wouldn't. Everything else is nice and cool. But the thing is, it's not mine, and it's working. And the rules are that I don't change anything unless it needs changing, unless it's broken. We'll see. Anyway, all that needs is a composite mod, and that's ready to go. And maybe someone needs to clear coat over this beautiful faceplate on this one, because it's lovely. So I don't even need to add anything to this. That's all there is for this one. I hope you enjoyed following along while I explored these old machines. I've got some more to do soon. There are 4 C64s here that I might do in the next episode, in the next triage episode. There's a couple of there's a couple of 48K ZX Spectrum Pluses over there as well, and a ZX81. I might do all of that lot in one go. That'll make a nice little triage episode. We'll see how we get on with the C64s first. But anyway, that's all we've got time for today. I'll see you in the next one. That's what they say, isn't it?